So welcome to the podcast, you guys. We got Flint Cook and Colton Koch on the podcast today. I'm really glad you guys came out, actually, because I've been following both of you guys for a while now.
Yeah.
I think we both kind of got into real estate around the same time.
Yeah.
Within a couple years, probably.
Well, the same guy kind of got you guys into it, didn't it? Alan Louder. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was dating his daughter.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say. It's not like he, told me, hey, you should do this. I kind of just watched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is a really good idea.
Yeah.
Because it was right down my alley of like things.
Yeah.
Like it just fit perfectly in of what I was trying to do with my life.
Back in the day, that's what got you started, ain't it?
Yeah, so. Yeah, I owned a tree business, so I worked for him, and he's like, yeah, it's a pretty good gig, He seemed like he had it going, so that was my goal to get started. So about 5 years ago, I guess, we started buying rental properties and hit it pretty hard. We're just now sold the tree business and just do real estate now.
Yeah, you're full time.
Oh, you sold your tree business completely?
Yeah, I sold it last winter. So now I just buy rental properties and flip farmland, or just hunting farms,
And Colton, you do, well, you guys both started out working with your dad, right? Doing wells?
Like during high school.
Well,
yeah.
All worked doing water wells through the summer. We always did that. But then you started your own tree business. Yeah. And I took St. Louis job for a while, and then I hated that. So then came back, started working for Dad. And that's where I'm now. He's about to retire in 2 weeks.
But you also have, what was the other thing you're doing with
I started like a plumbing business. Yeah, Koch Water System is what it was. I started out doing like plumbing, just handyman stuff. Most for the rental company that manages all of our stuff.
Oh, you do most of the work for
I was
your
like
brother
working for them. Yeah. Whenever Dad was slow, I just jump in there and work for myself. And
yeah,
it worked out good because I learned a lot about it. And then I did that for I don't know a year or so. But then I jumped into rentals myself. So it all worked out. It turned out good.
Flint, you got into them first, though, right?
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what motivated you, Colton.
Yeah.
To get into them.
Yeah.
Because you didn't did you go just ham your first year on them, or did you take it slow?
I don't know. I went pretty hard, I guess. The first year, we bought 10 units. And the first few I bought, they weren't real great deals. I just bought them because they're nice.
Yeah. They
cash flowed a little bit. So I bought 10, and then of them 10, like 3 of them were older houses. And they cash flowed great. And I was like, well, I don't really have to have nice places to make money on them. So next year, we bought 10 more. And they were kind of mid-range stuff, but they're cash flowing better. So I was kind of learning because I really didn't know what I was getting into. I just got into it. I was doing tree business, and it made good money. But it's hard work, and I didn't want to do it. I actually just hated it.
Not something to do forever.
No. Yeah. So I was just wanting to get out, but I wanted something I could switch into. So then I hit it hard for 5 years.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people realize that's a big reason why people do real estate is because, well, the thing with any job where you have to physically show up and physically do hard labor every day, it's hard. It's good pay, but you're putting in a lot of work. You're tearing yourself up. Oh, yeah. That's exactly how I was doing auto body, blocking on cars, painting all day.
It's earned income,
Yeah, it is you're earning it for sure. Where this is much more passive. Now you still got to put in the work.
Oh yeah, and it was nice because I could work till like 2:00 every day on trees and get too hot, and then I do rental stuff. I'd look at houses, do remodels, whatever it took. So I was kind of doing 2 jobs for several years, but I went into it hard. Because I first started wanting to do it for retirement, having a good retirement. And I got into it and I started making money. I was like, man, if I just scale this up, I could have enough to live on. So.
Dude, I was the exact same way. I was like, if I could just buy one, if I could manage just to get one, and then, one day I'll pay it off and I'll have that extra little bit of money coming in. Yeah. And then I started thinking, I'm like, well, what if I had 2?
Yeah.
Then it's even more. And then I'm like, and then I started reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And then that's when I really started realizing, I'm making mistakes in my life. Like I'm looking at things completely wrong. And now I'm to the point where, like, I don't care about any materialistic items anymore. Take it all from me. I don't care about having a new truck. I don't care about having a boat or sideways. I could care less about anything. Like, only thing I care about is just, I love investing and I love business. Yeah. And it's fun to me.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Same way, especially you. Like,
that's how I am. Like, Colton's like, why don't you just quit? Like, why do you keep working? I'm like,
I
just love it. Like,
it's fulfilling.
I do business every day.
Yeah, that's good word for it,
Yeah.
But he keeps going all the time because he loves it.
Yeah, I just love it. So now we bought 10 the first year, 10 the next year. Third year, we probably bought 20. Then last year, we bought a lot, probably 100. And so this year, we bought quite a few. So we're over 200 now, just me and the wife.
Didn't you started doing like the Burr method, right?
Not really. First started putting 15% down on everything first couple of years, and then until you run out of equity or money.
Yeah.
And then I learned about the Burr method. I was kind of doing it before I realized what it was.
Yeah, before you even realized what you were doing.
So now that's what we do on a lot of this stuff, and it's worked out. That's the way to scale.
Yeah, that's like the only way to scale.
That's the only way I've done it.
Yeah. And I think that's why I've wanted to go into business is because I think you can make more per month in a business, because on real estate, you can only make so much a month.
Yeah, I was telling Colton or somebody the other day, I was like, rental properties are great for building wealth. Like if you get 100 units, your net worth go up like $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. But the amount of money you make really isn't. Like the amount of time and money I put into the rentals, I don't make that much. You can make way more on any other business.
Yeah.
But for building wealth, it's the best.
Yeah. It's great.
So
It's definitely
both,
great.
It buys your time back, get you out of the day job, go do something else, like your land flips.
Yeah. But if you can do both of them, like now we flip properties and put all the profit in. Meanwhile, they make the payments while we flip more. But if you can do both business and rentals.
So how'd you figure out like the property rental thing or flipping thing?
We bought a farm. I just love hunting properties. Like I just love deer hunting. So me and the wife, we paid off our house, and next thing I wanted was to buy a nice farm somewhere to hunt on. So we bought a farm, North Missouri. And
You paid it off how?
The house.
Yeah, just
between we got married, we both had savings, so we paid the house half off when we built it, and then we got a loan for like $60,000. And the next year we just put everything we made and just paid it off
straight into the
That
house.
was before we bought rental property, so we just I didn't know what else to do, I
Yeah.
was like, well, I'll just saved up for a while, and so we just paid the house off. So we got rid of that home loan. So then we bought a nice farm, 100 acres up north, and that was great. We enjoyed it. Had it about 4 years, and got to it. Then we started having kids, and really didn't have time to use it. And the market was going up, and I bought like the biggest piece I could find for the lowest price per acre.
Yeah.
So I got a good deal on it. I just didn't really realize it, Well, we had it. We added.
You were just trying to buy something
I bought the most
for a good deal.
I could afford. I bought the most I could afford.
For deer hunting mostly. Like you weren't even thinking about flipping.
No,
at
it was
the
just
time.
for deer hunting. I didn't
Yeah,
buy
just
it for investment
recreational.
or anything.
Yeah.
So I got it, but while we had it, we did improvements, and then after about 4 years, we ought to sell it because I was watching the market, and I had another little small piece I bought by it. And I told the
You're
wife, I
watching
said,
what?
Oh, the land market.
Oh,
in the area,
okay.
Just see what stuff was doing.
Yeah.
And it was starting to go up. It was kind of after 2010, stuff was starting to move again pretty good. So we put on market, made about 60,000, and we took that and just put it in more rentals. By then, we were starting to buy rentals that same year. So we sold that farm, kind of put it in to the rentals. And then I was like, man, that was pretty easy money for what it was. So we bought another farm, learned a lot, didn't make a ton on it, but flipped it, made some money. So ever since then, I just started flipping hunting properties.
So like the flipping the properties, that's kind of like your portfolio income. Like that's where you're actually making some chunks of change to be able to put,
He dumps in the rentals.
and then you dump it right back in the rentals.
Yeah. So
So just keep reinvesting it.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
I'll
big one.
reinvest everything. So most time it's you 1031 it, so you can't even touch the money. So you put all the profit. Like the second place I flipped, we made really good money on it, and we put all that profit into like 24 units in Salem, and that's been phenomenal.
That was like a apartment complex or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 4 buildings.
Because that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's where you want to get to.
Yeah,
If
I've
you
got
can do
like
it.
I got like
where you
3
wanna be.
properties, multifamilies, and they make more than everything else combined. The
Wow.
bigger ones are better, of course.
So would you sell a lot of your single families to get, if you had an opportunity to get a good sized multi-property?
Only if I had to get the money.
Yeah.
The way the market's been going up, you can kind of reappraise them or pull money from other stuff. Well, I try not to sell. I sold a little bit this year just because I'm trying to do a lot of land flips. Like we got 1,800 acres right now we're flipping.
Dang.
So it takes quite a bit to sit on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All in one chunk or just
No,
all
I got Iowa,
collectively?
Illinois, several pieces in Missouri.
Yeah.
I got a couple of pieces that I'm keeping for myself, but the rest we're flipping.
That's awesome.
We're kind of sitting on now. But
So like all this land out of town, you watch like in other states and stuff.
Yeah.
You
So I
watch the
spend-
land there too?
I spend probably an hour a day on the laptop just I look at like 6 states: Wyoming, Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and Kansas. So everything I could drive to. Wyoming I can't, of course, but I got a different reason for that. But so I've watched them for the last couple of years, so I know, you can name a county in Illinois, and I can tell you what a good price per acre there is.
Yeah.
So I just know. So when it comes up, I know that's a great price. I can buy it. So it comes up, I can be there the next day and get it bought.
Yeah, but now the market's changing. What do you think of that? Are you guys? Has it slowed down for you
The
guys?
land sales a little bit, but always does in the summertime. As far as rentals, no, it doesn't slow at all.
not much.
No.
I've sold a couple pieces, and it's like immediately off market.
Yeah.
You talk your rentals,
Yeah.
but like when you guys sell your rentals, you guys base your price off the value of the house. You guys figure out, like you guys sell it to another investor. You guys just put it on the market to whoever.
No, I just sold it. I just sold a couple places, one to him and one to another buddy of mine, Corey Nix. And it was just like I priced it where he can make some money at it.
Yeah,
Kind of like you did to me.
exactly like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I'd rather-
another investor. They got to make money too. Else
Yeah.
they're not buying it.
I'd rather cut him, $6,000-8,000
Yeah.
break than pay a realtor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the way I look at it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, well, one is a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Like I'm not looking to freaking screw anybody over.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just trying to make a little bit of money and make a living myself.
Yeah.
And at that time, like I needed some money to be able to put back into my business that I had just started, and so that's exactly why I did it. But
something funny about that, I bought that house from you after I heard what you talked about it, whatever, everything you went through. I've never had a call from them people since I've bought it.
really,
And
same tenants.
Same tenants, and I raised
I
the rent
just put
$100.
those guys in though.
Yeah.
Those guys are
Yeah.
new. Yeah.
And that,
Rub it in, Color.
I don't know if it's been almost
Oh, no,
a
I
year
don't
ago,
care.
but
I
I
don't
raised
care at
rents.
all.
I haven't heard from them since.
Yeah, I don't
I
really
thought that
care.
was funny.
Colton's got the best luck with Reynolds.
When, well, whatever, you know, I'm very picky.
Yeah.
You guys use management?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys still use
Yeah, we
management,
don't.
but see, but I like to be in control.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a very in control kind of person, and I feel like
I got a theory on that later.
okay,
Yeah, he'll like
let's hear it. Let's hear it. And
ahead.
you know, I like it because if something does happen,
Yeah.
then who else is to blame except for myself?
Yeah.
You know, and so that's where I got a lot of bad tenants was whenever I was just kind of just like, oh, just letting it go. Like, didn't really look into them a lot. Let someone else just be like, yeah, they're going to be a good tenant or something like that. And that's where I always have my problems.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just like, well, you know, now if I make sure I'm really picky, I'll let it sit for a month or two. I usually try to hustle. Like I'm taking really good pictures of the house. I'm putting it up. I'm putting it everywhere out there. I'm sharing it all over the place. I'm trying to find some. I'm putting it in the papers, and I'm really doing my due diligence whenever I'm trying to find a tenant.
Yeah.
And so here lately, I've been pretty lucky.
Have good luck.
And I looked into those people too.
Did you?
Like when they were moving in, I was like,
Well, you
I
did
think
a good
these.
job.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that because if you would have came to me and you're like, these people absolutely suck. They never pay me rent. They trash the place. I would have felt bad, man.
Yeah.
I really would have.
Maybe they did. I ain't been back there.
You don't have to ever go by.
I've never been. No, I never drove by.
I'll drive by it sometime.
I haven't been back there since I met you and looked
Really?
at it that day. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. But hey, you know, obviously it's working out some
Yeah.
way.
But yeah, we have a management company in place
Yeah.
that takes care of all of our stuff.
Yeah, and it seems to work out.
Yeah, it allows us to scale and just focus on
Yeah.
buying more.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Like-
looked into rentals, I heard, like, I asked all kinds of people I worked for. A lot of older guys I'd work for. I'd work doing tree work at rental properties, and I'd ask them all about it. And it was always negative. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's okay. You know, they tear all your stuff up, and, you know, most of them had horror stories. All of them had bad stories. They'll tear your whole place up. So I went into it, like, assuming, like, it would be the worst. Like,
Yeah.
they would just tear up everything I had. And I really don't have any bad stories at all.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, I thought, I don't want to deal with this. So I got a management company. And my theory is now, you know, you can save hundreds doing it yourself, or you can make millions by just paying somebody else and scaling.
You don't want
Absolutely.
to get bogged down with like the little stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I deal with like
Renters
getting
and
that stuff
maintenance and
ready to
stuff.
rent. You know, I got a maintenance guy that works for me full time, and it's worked out good. And I can just work with him, make sure everything's moving forward. But,
The maintenance guy is directly through you, not through the maintenance
Yeah,
company,
it's through me.
or not through the
and Colton was
management
doing
company.
it up till
Yeah,
this year.
I
And
did
he was kind of taking care of
a
it.
couple
but then
years, but
Colton got busy, so I just hired a guy full time. I started a big remodel, so I hired him for it, and he just stuck around.
Because I thought about doing something. I think that's great, like to have your own maintenance guy where
Yeah.
he comes directly to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of something I didn't like either. I didn't like someone. I'm just picky.
I know you are.
I'm picky and like I try not to be
Yeah.
too much, but you know I've had stupid stuff like one night I got a call. It was like 8:30 at night, and they had called. This when I was under a management company, and they had called me and told me that the tenants had got to the house and the house was freezing cold, and that basically they called me and was pissed off, and that they said, or called the management company and they were pissed off and said that the propane tank was gone and there was no heat in the house. So they were going to go stay in a hotel, but they wanted someone to comment for them. And I was like, well, who's going to do that? And the management company's like, well, you're going to have to. And I'm like, absolutely not until I go there and make sure. Because I was like, why would they take the tank away? Like, why would someone just come and get the propane tank? And so I get up, drive into town. And that's another thing. I just felt like most of the time I felt like I was getting a lot of excuses.
Yeah.
And I was like, is my money even being
Yeah.
served
Yeah.
properly?
Yeah.
And I drove all the way there. The propane tank's sitting in the yard. House is empty. And I knew exactly, because I remember I went there like 2-3 weeks before that, and it was down to like 15% propane. And I pull all the way through the yard because it's 8:30 at night and it's middle of dead winter. And I pull up in the yard, put my headlights on it, get out, flip the tank lid open, no propane.
Yeah.
And I just called him and I said, put some propane in it, you'll have heat again. Because I knew I just put a brand new furnace and everything in this house.
Yeah.
I'm like, this
Yeah,
is
we-
good.
Yeah. No, there's no management company that's going to watch your money like
Yeah,
you.
we got those
Right.
stories too.
But so yeah, we got some stories, and we're kind of moving things around to make it better for ours. But and you got to do that every now
Part
and
of
then.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I would never manage my own stuff. There's too much.
Well, you
too
got
much,
a lot
Too much
now.
work for the
You
little
got a
money
lot
you save.
now.
Yeah.
I like the way you do it. You guys are both doing it, honestly, the right way, for sure. And I think you guys have done your research too, though.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But I talked to so many people, and everybody had a bad story. They always get like 6 or 7, and they never get enough to change their life.
Yeah.
They always get a few, and I always ask them, "You manage yourself?" Yep. And it's always
Always the same story.
it's always the same thing. They always manage themselves.
They get 4 or 5 or 6, and then they get too busy with them or stressed out, and then they quit buying, and then
They
a
never.
few
get
years
to-
later they end up selling because if
They
you got
never
somebody
get to
manage
enough
them,
to
you don't
change
worry
their
about that. You just work.
Well,
focus
I
on
think
buying.
those people are also the ones that don't do any research on like how to be doing rental properties properly.
Yeah.
So like you know they're buying these properties and they're buying them at the wrong price, so they're overpaying for them, and then you know they're not making that much money a month on them, and they're not putting any money in a bank account. So when something does break, you know they have money to fix it.
Yeah.
And then I just don't think they know how to handle it properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, with rentals, you need to have what at least 10, 15 before you start making money on them, like starting to see
Actually-
profits.
actually make
Yeah.
money.
I know that was for me for sure, but a few don't hardly do it for you. You know, you're just breaking even without big breakdowns. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna get into it, I would have a goal of getting like at least 20 or.
Yeah,
don't
that's a
even-
lot of
don't
people
even
get
waste your
burned out
time
because they only get a
starting.
few and then they don't make any money.
Yeah. Single families though, you think just fine?
They're
getting
fine.
started?
I got it all, and they're fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
They wouldn't
I
have
would
a
like
bad
to get in the multifamily just because it's all in one location.
Yeah.
Everything's at one spot. You don't have as much of a yard to take care of. You don't have just when you give someone a house with a big yard on it, and they gotta trim the trees and cut the grass and you know tend to the flower gardens and stuff like that. That's what always ends up just getting trashed because they just don't care about it.
Yeah, I know.
But if you had an apartment building that's just a concrete parking lot,
Yeah.
what's to take care of? They come in, they get out of their car, to go up the stairs, go to the apartment, be done with it.
Yeah.
And that's why they want to live there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're simpler. Single family homes, they stay way longer. Like average, probably 3 or 4 years they stay. Apartments, like a year is probably all you get out.
Yeah,
of
they're in
person.
and out.
Oh,
short-term-
really?
The
short-term
turnover,
housing.
the turnover is way higher on apartments, and it doesn't matter how
Interesting.
nice they are.
Yeah.
You got a lot more.
Single family
turnover.
homes, they move in. I've never had them leave.
When I go
So
to
they're
buy
staying
them,
there.
They just stay there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like
yeah, you can figure them at least 3 or 4 years, especially a 3-bedroom house. But yeah, apartments, I figure like a 10% vacancy when I buy apartments, just to
Yeah.
be safe. But there's just so much turnover.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about that part of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's pretty minor, I
And
guess.
people usually like they'll be there for a year or two, and they get a boyfriend or someone, they get married, and they just move in with somebody else.
Yeah.
And
So-
they don't stay long.
Like with the management company, don't you guys, you guys don't think you guys are making enough money where you could develop your own team? Where you could have control over your own management company?
I run the numbers, and I was like thinking about doing it this past year, but like where I'm at, it costs me $5,000 a month to pay somebody, a management company, and I can't really justify paying somebody, dealing with all the headaches because I still got to deal with everything. You got to train a person, so right now I don't really feel
Just
like
doesn't seem feasible.
because I can make if I just take that time I would have spent getting a management company going, and just put it somewhere else, I can make way more
a
money.
land flip or something. Yeah.
Yeah, just one.
You're
land
gonna make
flip
just
will
as
make
much,
way
yeah.
more money. So like that's why I haven't done.
With
It. When I
less
get to
headache.
like 400 or 500 units, then I will.
Yeah, I
Right
think
now, it's just
someday
not
you'll
worth
have
it.
to.
You'll make more by getting your places rented out quicker and collecting better. You make
Yeah.
way more on just being more efficient than what you actually save on a management company.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that probably makes
There's
sense.
there's a lot of angles there, but to me, I haven't justified it yet.
So, I mean, what you guys, obviously you guys are doing this to bring in some extra money in your guys' life, but what's your guys' ultimate goal with them? I know what I want to do, but what are you guys doing it for?
I don't know what his goal is. He keeps working.
Yeah.
I can tell you mine.
Do you want to stop working? Like-
yeah, I would travel more, spend more time with the family, and just
Yeah.
be able to work when I want to, type deal.
Yeah.
Buy my time back is all it is.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. We just not have to go to work every day if I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I'm hoping to get to 50 units by the time I'm 30, and that's I don't know. I think I could live on that, but this guy, he just works all the time,
I just like it.
even though
Yeah.
he's got a lot of them. So.
So do you work on the land? Is that what you're
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, that's what I
You're
kinda
working
do.
on the land, cleaning it up.
And I
cleaning
get it.
up,
That ain't
stuff
really
like that.
work. Like that's
Yeah.
fun.
No, I go out and brush
Right.
hog and check trail cameras and look at listings and
Yeah.
get stuff ready to sell. I might put in an entrance or something. So it doesn't really work, but yeah, I don't know. I just love it. Like my original goal was just to get like 30 to have a good retirement. And then once I got there, I was like, well, I can get more than that. And then my goal was to buy a big farm, and I got a couple of those. So
Yeah.
I just like working.
You're going through your goals.
Yeah.
Fast.
Something to do. I'll make new ones.
Yeah, I think that like chasing a goal
Yeah.
and then achieving
That's the
it
thing.
is
Once you
what's
get
so
there, you
great.
just raise the bar, and it's like
Yeah.
you're always chasing.
You don't think you guys will go over into like back in the business of like anything else?
I don't know. It'd have to be pretty I don't know. I've just been in the service business, and it takes if you go big, you got to have employees and you got to get a lot of work. I just really like real estate. It's done well for me. So
You like to be solo. You like to solo.
I don't mind
barter
having people. It's just like a service business. I've done that, and it's a lot of work. Like I like just be able to leave when I want. Like I'll take off 2 months and go deer hunting 2 months straight. In the fall. And
Well, what about you don't have to do service? Yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want.
yeah.
Like I got this invention that I'm thinking about making. If if it's something like that, you pay someone to make it, you pay someone to produce it, you pay someone to sell it, you pay someone to market it, pay it all that.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds fun. Like that's like I get enjoyment out of like I like creating and doing things like that too. That's kind of why I do this podcast. I get to create, do it all.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I'd like to start another business or two next year, but I'm pretty picky. Like I think about it in a while, and I don't want something that's going to be a big pain or you get into, or like I was thinking about doing equipment rental, but it's like so much money you have to invest just to make, and then you got so much debt. It's just like,
but
I'm pretty picky on what it is.
Isn't rentals the same way? It's a lot of money to invest as long as you make your money back.
Yeah, but they're different. Yeah, I guess it kind of is.
But you got an asset when you buy it though, like
that goes up in value.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
like a rental business. Yeah.
I think the equipment rental idea is a really good idea.
Yeah.
I've thought
You
about
got a perfect place for it.
I know I do. And trust me, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of money there.
Well, I was just thinking about like trailers, starting out doing trailers at first, just flat trailers, in dumps, things like that.
We got a buddy selling them out of his house. Like you got a perfect spot.
He's selling them. I was thinking about renting them.
Yeah.
I was thinking about renting them.
Yeah.
You know what also I thought would be a good idea? And these are ideas that I'm not ever going to really pursue. And if someone else takes it, whatever. Like I might pursue it one day just to try it out. Like that supplement company, I tried it out just because I thought it'd be a good idea and it just didn't work out like I wanted. I'm like, all right, move on with my life. Like I didn't put that much money in, maybe 20, 25,000 in it. And it just didn't work out like I wanted. And I'm like, all right, move on to the next thing. Apparently people didn't want it like I thought they would. Yeah. I know if someone came to me with that idea, I'd have been all over it.
Yeah.
Because I got to pay for all the product that I sell. Yeah. If someone would give it to me for free, I would have been happy, just tickled to death. But I don't know. I've also thought about like a side-by-side rental.
Yeah.
Because you go out to like any you guys go to the mountains a lot, right?
A couple years ago, we went to Colorado, rented them, and ran them around. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guarantee people will do that. I would rent one. Yeah. That's a lot of times. That's how I come up with these ideas. I'm like, would I do this? Yeah. And I don't know what it would take, but you buy a little, maybe like a 600-700, little CC one, and rent it out, 2-seater. I remember I did it in Tennessee. I went to Gatlinburg, just like on a vacation, and I don't know what it was, $100 for a couple hours maybe. Yeah, but it was a lot. Yeah, I mean,
we paid a lot more than that.
Yeah, but it was a couple hours.
Yeah,
you guys rented it probably the whole
day.
Time. Yeah. But do it somewhere around here. People riding side by sides on county roads and wherever. I think you can make some money on it. Yeah. And then you got side by side to ride whenever it's not booked out.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I didn't really go all in on the rentals, I was going to do it in Washington, Missouri, because it's seemed like a perfect town. It's big and growing. Mm-hmm. There's a store, but it's out on the interstate. Yeah. And I found a location even. And I was like real serious about it, and I ran the numbers. And to have like a decent sized store, like I would have probably $40,000 a month in just costs, just to keep everything going, the bills paid, everything. And then the same week, I heard a quote by Warren Buffett, and he's like, "Don't risk money you have for money you don't need." I was like, man, that's kind of true. That's a lot of money every month going out just to start another business, Yeah. And I was like, I'm already making, I can make the same flipping more land than I could in another store. Yeah. So that's why I just didn't do that. But
with overall less risk, because the land you still got risk. Value.
It's pretty. I mean, real estate's pretty freaking safe.
Oh yeah,
that's what I mean.
And you can put on like a 25, 30 year.
And there ain't anything else that, as long as you're getting good buys, there ain't anything else that's safe.
Yeah, I love talking about the economy, but like I don't care what the economy's doing on rental properties, just because. As long as people pay rent, like I don't care if it's up or down. If it goes down, it'll be a better buy. A good economy I need for selling land, but like rental properties, you don't really care.
But you can buy land cheap if the economy's down.
Yeah.
You can make money up or down. Bring it on.
Yeah,
make money either way.
Yeah, I think so. Like right now, interest rates are going up, properties are going down. I just sold a house, just bought a house just to flip it, just sold it, and I bought it for $100,000, and it was worth about $155,000. 6 months ago, I would have got $155,000 and probably had a bidding war. Yeah. And then this time I went and put it up for sale, and I got one offer, $147,000. I took it. They backed out. I'm guessing it's probably because they went to the bank, had a 6% interest rate, and realized that their payment was going to be double now. Yeah. And so they canceled, and then I got an offer for just a little less. And it kind of sucked that I took the hit versus, I mean, I didn't really take a hit, but, 6 months ago I would have made a lot more. So definitely seems like things are changing a little bit in that aspect.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
way
it's
I
slowing
look at
down.
it is,
Yeah, it's slowing down
it
some.
cooled off, but
right. But then that's also an opportunity
Yeah.
for people that want to buy because you can buy property so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
there's
buying a farm now for like a crazy great price, $700 an acre, and it's
Holy
just kinda
cow.
good timing. But yeah, it's just like buying some deals, and I'm buying an apartment complex, really good price on it too. So yeah, there's deals out there. You just gotta look all the time.
When you buy the land, do you break it up in parcels?
A little bit, not a lot, but I do some. I bought a 350 acre piece last year. Split it 3 ways. Most of the other pieces I just leave together, resell them.
You just clean them up, make them a little more.
Yeah, I clean them up some, but the main thing is just buying them right. Like, like say I look at 6 states a day, and they have 5 listings a day for each state. You got 25 listings, whatever, a day. You see, you may take 6 months for you to see a one.
Yeah.
And like for me to buy a farm, it has to be like no matter how you turn the deal, you're making money. Like it's like maybe I'm off on how much I can sell for. You're still gonna make money. So it takes a lot of looking, but I buy them right. Like that place for $600-700 an acre.
Right.
I was been selling stuff in that area for $1,800 an acre. So there's it'd be hard to really lose on that. It'd only be if I want to hold it long enough. But so the main thing is just buy them right and just watch until, because a lot of people they'll look. Same with rental properties, they'll look a little bit and they won't. I just built up a habit of looking every day.
Yeah.
I almost look forward to it or enjoy it, but you just gotta do it for months until you find a smoking deal.
Just stay on it.
Yeah.
When I was younger and I used to flip cars, I used to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because I used to buy only 5-speeds, like 5-speed Chevy trucks. Because if I bought a 5-speed, I get instantly $1,500 more for it.
Yeah.
And so I would just scour the internet and wait till I found one that was a good deal. Just finding one at a good value.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And then buying it and
buying it right.
turn it on and resell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I just look for a big score where one hit a year, is all you have to do.
Well, I think a lot of people just don't understand value.
Yeah.
Over just price. Because like some people just buy it at whatever and then they go to resell it and they have it way above value and they're like, well, I paid this much for it, and because they're trying to flip something.
Yeah.
And they buy it for this price and then they go to resell it and they're like, well, I paid $250 for it, so I need to get at least $265 so I can make a little bit on it. It's like, well, if it's only worth $215, I don't know
that comes down to looking every day because you know what stuff's moving for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
You got to stay relevant
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, you got to be.
Because in the last year, like, I passed on so much stuff in North Missouri that, like, it's just crazy how much it went up. Like, it went up to almost $2,000 an acre up there, So if you're not watching, you don't realize how much it's actually went up.
Yeah.
Because I turned out a lot of stuff that I could have, a year later, I could have sold for way more than what I, passed on for.
Yeah, that's just hindsight. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to change where.
But
You can watch it kind of go up a little bit, huh? Like you just kind of start watching it creep up, and you're like, And there is indicators, right?
Yeah.
Like the interest rates changing and stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably how you can look a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it coming. We can see it. So I can see it slowing down, and now it's just kind of waiting period to see what it's going to do.
Oh no. You guys like tequila?
No.
No. You never had Cabo Wabo, Colton?
no.
You want to try some?
Yeah.
You want to try some?
No. Yeah. Make me one.
All right, I'll make you one.
Yeah. Twisted teas.
I'm a twisted tea guy.
I'll just do one shot with
Okay.
club soda.
Yeah, you don't need any more.
I won't go too soon. He'll be just.
So when are you gonna start another gym?
When am I going to start another gym? Well, I've been thinking about it, and I've thought about it a lot because whenever I was going around trying to sell these supplements, I made a list of every gym within a 100-mile radius, and I went out. I ended up going way outside that too, and I was going to these different towns, and I just started realizing like, oh, this town's the same size as Owensville, where I have my gym, and they don't have a good gym.
Yeah.
And it's just because somebody just started it and they just didn't have the passion for it. And so I was like, man, I could open a gym here. I could open a gym here. And I've been thinking about it.
Yeah. You should. You got somebody run yours now, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
There you go.
And dude, she's fantastic. Yeah. Honestly, I brought her in so I could go out and start doing this other business. And she's done better than I ever expected. Almost too good.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I got to try to make sure I keep this girl happy so I can keep doing, because I love doing, like I wouldn't be able to do this podcast if it wasn't for her being able to, because I do really care about that gym. Like I love the gym. I love working out. And it was something that I always wanted in the community. And that was a big reason, because I was in auto body before this, and I had thought about buying a shop, and then I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Because if the painter doesn't show up that day, who's painting? I am. If somebody doesn't know how to do something or something goes wrong, who's got to do it? I got to do it. And I was kind of just wanting to get away from that earned income.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if even if I didn't have her there, I could shut the business down and leave. Like I'm still everybody signed up. They're on 24-hour gym memberships. The money, and that's the big reason why the money still keeps coming in.
Yeah.
You know, they're all on reoccurring, kind of just like a rental property on a lot smaller scale.
Yeah.
And so like and it's something I always wanted. We had nothing in our community, and I'm like, nobody else is going to do it, so I might as well do it. And it's done better than I ever expected.
Yeah, it's good business.
Yeah, and so
So how many people do you have
as a member,
membership there? Yeah.
well, it goes up and down by the day. When I bought it, because I bought a gym out.
Yeah.
It used to be it was a really small gym, and it had probably, because I bought the program and everything, so I had to like figure it out. So it was a rough estimate. It probably had about 100 members. I think about 400 now.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's doing pretty good.
And how long?
And
Couple
in
years?
14 months, man.
14 months?
14 months. July 1st of last year is when I did it.
That's
so
incredible.
yeah, and it's done great. But I've done a lot.
Yeah.
When I first bought it, because they were only open, they weren't 24/7. They were open from 6 a.m. till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And I was doing what I could during the day, like just doing whatever little stuff I could do. And then when we closed at 6 or 7, and everybody went home, I got to freaking work.
Yeah.
And I was cutting walls out. I'm rewiring everything. And I would stay. There was a month straight where I was working I would work a 24-hour shift. And then I would go home at like 5 a.m. About 5:30 when I knew the place was going to open up again. I would go home. I would sleep, and then for 6 hours, get up, and I'd go work during the day. And then, working at a 20. So every other day I was working a 24-hour shift. And just kept on pumping it out and just I was doing a ton of stuff, just remodeling it all, painting, doing all kinds of stuff. And I never shut it down.
Yeah.
I mean, I built rooms in there. I was blowing walls out in there. We repainted, mudded it, all this. Never once shut the business down. Never once. People worked around it all. There was days where I had the garage doors all open because it has a bunch of garage doors on the outside. I had them all opened up, and I'm sanding drywall. And the whole place is just full of sanding dust, and people are in there working out. And I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm like, I don't know what to do because at some point, I was just like, I got to get this done.
Yeah.
And I knew how important it was for people to work out.
Yeah.
Even myself, how important it is. So I didn't want to take it away from them.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of love, man. I got my communities supported me tremendously.
Yeah.
Tremendously. And so
That's awesome.
I would like to. I have looked into another gym. I just don't know if it's it. Because then I got to start going to this community every day because I got to check in. I still got to watch over this place. And so here you go.
Thank you.
Let me know what you think.
It's not like you
Shouldn't
double or
be too
triple
much.
the value of your business though by just growing it like that.
I
4
sure
times.
did. I absolutely did. And so the reason I don't think I want to franchise it out, maybe a little bit. I might a little bit in some local communities. I got a few towns, but I don't want to say it. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think there's enough there for me to really grow the way I want to grow.
Yeah.
And so I built a lot of equity up in it. And I'm thinking about taking all this equity and I'm putting it into another small business, but that's on another level.
Yeah.
So, because I want to be able, I really do want to own a corporation one day.
Yeah.
500 plus employees. That's actually where I want to end up. And so I'm thinking, in my head, what do I got to do to make this next big step? Yeah. And I just,
Work backwards.
yeah, I think a gym's would be really cool. Another gym would be cool. Have multi-location would be cool too, but I just don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta find something very scalable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where I'm at. And I still really like the rentals. And last year when I was buying the gym, the past year I've really stepped away from it, especially with the market going up. It was really hard for me to find some good properties. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just took my focus off on it. Now that I'm watching the market change, I'm like, all right, time to get back into real estate. Now it's time to hit it hard.
Yeah.
And so that's why I sold. Dude, I had a C10 that I bought, a really nice one. I sold it off. I sold all my vehicles off. Now I just drive an older GTO and an older pickup truck. I sold everything I could when the market was really up, just to try to bring some money back in so I could hit it hard whenever the market changed. Are you guys into any precious metals? Have you guys got in that?
Nope.
Any interest at all?
No,
Nothing.
None.
I mean, nothing at all.
Check out this piece of stuff here. Tell me if you don't like that a little bit. No coins, no nothing.
Nope.
I think you guys should get into it. I think
I don't think so.
it's something I just recently got into, but
How many
Watching
times,
too much.
How many times have you like traded silver for something in your life though?
I've never done it.
Yeah, that's
But
kinda
I just got
problem.
into it, you know. So, my thing was that I had this like I bought my C10. I bought it when the market was low. I paid $9,000 for it. Market went up. A year and a half later, I sold it for 20 grand. And so I'm like, okay, made some money on it. I wasn't ever going to get much more than that out of it, not unless I held it for a really long time. And I'm like, okay, so sell it, but now what do I do with this money? Like, what do I do with this money just sitting around? Silver's pretty cheap. Like one of those, like that coin's only $25. Pretty cheap, but it's a precious metal. You can be able to use it forever. So, and I've been watching it a little bit, and it has been going up. And I don't know. I think it just sounded fun to dabble into.
Yeah.
So I don't know anybody that does it, but
Yeah,
I
No,
thought it was cool.
I know people are all on board on the precious metals. I just like real estate. They gotta have a place to live.
yeah. Actually, that's a big reason why I like real estate.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just for the money. I'm providing American citizens with housing.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's like almost warming to the heart. Like a lot of people don't realize it, but however many rentals you got, you're housing this many American citizens.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. And that's why the government gives these breaks to
Yep.
us.
Exactly.
Because, you know, we're providing the housing that they don't have to.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge benefit for it. Everybody just thinks you're like, oh, you're just greedy, you just want a bunch of this money. And it's like, well, there is more to it than just making money off it. You got to make money.
Yeah.
That's how we all got to survive.
No,
But
I do it.
yeah, you know, there's stuff to it. That's why I like business, because I like to be able, like if I own a big business and I have 500 plus employees, and all the 500 plus employees all got to use that money to buy themselves a nice car and a nice house and raise a family in it, and my business was the business that helped 500 people make a successful life. That's something when you die you feel good about.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's the stuff I think about.
Yeah.
Like I love like the girl that works for me, you know, like when she just went to Europe and she bought like a nice purse and she was talking about how she was saving this money up. That makes me feel good. That I was the one that was able to create a business that could generate income to not only pay for myself, but to pay for her too.
Yeah.
You know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And to see people like scale up through that over the years, you know, buying cars, buying houses, raising families. Like you guys are going to have people that are raising families in your in your houses.
You talked about that.
Yeah.
It's
Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
And these and it's not like that you're better than them or nothing like that. Like, but I do think that's something you should be proud of, because these people, for whatever reason, could not buy a house, and so they're renting. And maybe they don't want to buy a house, but let's say they can't buy a house because something happened in their life. Maybe their husband passed away, maybe the wife passed away, and they lost their income and they couldn't afford it. Or maybe they made one bad decision in their life and their credit got screwed up. And so now they're raising a family in your house. Or whatever. Maybe the husband left the wife and the wife has to raise 2 kids on her own. She's doing it in your house and she can't buy a house, but you were able to give her one. Like that's amazing.
Yeah. And there's a huge shortage of housing right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like as far as rentals, like the amount of applicants you get is just crazy. I don't think, and like at least Sullivan, where we live in, they're not going to catch up to it anytime soon. Nobody's really building anything at all. So there'll be a shortage for a long time.
I think
Really no town around us even.
No,
that
not
closest
to keep
building at
up,
all.
really.
Other than like Lynn or somewhere, but
yeah, Lynn's a cool town. Do you guys ever get any properties in there?
Nope.
I just sent you guys that one the other day.
you
They
did.
build too much up there for me.
Yeah. I think they'll flood that.
That guy that builds all them, he's an animal. But no, I think it's going to be flooded.
What do you mean by flooded?
Well, there's building so many. Have you been up there lately?
Yeah.
All the apartments are built.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be flooded. Too much building going on.
Grant Cardone says cranes in the air everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
I just think there's just too much building going on up there for me to want to be in it.
Well, now, but yeah. What if you're that guy that was building them all? You think he's messing up?
No, he's not messing up because I know the bankers that see the loans and like he makes a ton of money because he rents them out per room.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's making money and he must know what he's doing because he fills them up.
Right.
But I'd hate to be a guy in there with an older apartment complex and he comes in with all brand new units.
Yeah.
You're getting the crumbs.
Whenever exactly. I just went to Kansas City this past, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And I was driving through and I seen those when you first pull in. They're not bad, but they're like you said, older apartment complexes. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I bet they don't get the nice ones.
Yeah.
Like, I bet they're getting, like you said, the crumbs of it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, that kind of sucks. I think the housing is still, like, the houses still do good because people appreciate a house.
Yeah.
They like having a yard. They like to be able to sit outside and have some privacy.
And they're not building anything for families. It's just all students there.
Yeah.
But I don't like any college towns. Like Rolla, same way. Last year, anytime you look at Facebook Marketplace, there'll be 50 to 100 places for rent. Like to me, I like Sullivan where there's like 3 places for rent.
Right.
It's a supply and
before we
demand.
buy in a town, we'll look, see what's on the market in that town for rent, and just see.
Right.
And I'll buy in
There's
some small,
competition.
tiny towns. Like I got a lot of stuff in like Bell, Salem.
Yeah.
Small places, but I'd rather be there than where they build so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I agree with that too. I think you'd probably be better off.
Yeah.
Because in these college towns, a lot of these kids, they're not paying for it. Their parents are paying for it.
Exactly.
Or this is their first place they've ever lived, and they're not going to take care of your place. And I guarantee you, they're the ones tearing them up the most.
Yeah.
Like out of everywhere else, these people are tearing up the most because they're going to move out. Most of them are probably dropping out their first year anyway.
Yeah.
And so, but they got a lease for a year, so they're like, screw it, we're just going to party it up for the rest of the semester.
Yeah.
Tear this place up, get drunk, puke on the floor or something.
Yeah.
And because I thought about the same thing. That was my only thing that I was like, fearful of that house that I sent you guys in Lynn. Because I'm like, I'll probably rent to some freaking kid. And then they're just going to tear it up because this is the house that's right down the road from the gas station. And it's the only private place so they can actually go there and have loud music and party. And I'm like, my house is going to be the party house. And it's going to get just trashed. And I'm like, it's probably my worst one. But I did think it was a good price.
Yeah. It was all right.
You guys didn't look at it, though.
I looked at it.
You did look at it?
Yeah.
Oh, on the phone.
On phone. Yeah. I
Not
didn't
in
drive
person.
up there.
Yeah, I didn't go in person.
Yeah.
But
I don't like Lynn. I don't like college towns.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe if it wasn't for the fact that the lady
I figured it was
said,
a good deal. You'd buy it.
well, I don't like people like that where they're like, it's on the market till tomorrow. Put in a bid, and then I'm just taking the highest bid. I'm like, I don't freaking want to fight
That's
over this.
kind of
I was the
tricky.
same way. I didn't even follow up on because I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I know, talking about college towns, I know there's a guy that owns a lot of units in Rolla, and he's the only person through COVID that actually got hurt. Like everybody else through COVID did great, like on rental stuff, just because everybody had so much money in their pocket. But all the students there, they just left because a lot of them are foreign, and they just left. They said piss on it. And they were
Even with the
actually-
contract?
yeah, they just left, quit paying rent, and they were actually the only people hurting on collecting in the college town. So that kind of surprised me. Not that COVID will happen again anytime soon, but
Yeah. Or I could see that too. I could easily see that. But they're all on contract. Can you take them to court?
you can. That never really works.
Trying to get it. Yeah.
Never works.
Have you guys gone to court a lot?
Not really. The
You have a
management-
bunch, haven't you?
I was going once a year.
Yeah.
I was going once a year.
We've
Dick
never
people?
gone.
Never gone.
Never. I don't even know the process.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
You know why? I got to manage it.
Hey, you're gonna figure it out one day.
It's worth your money, right there.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really mind it. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
My first one was bad just because I had a bad lawyer.
Yeah.
But I actually almost enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not enjoying the whole process of it all, but I enjoy the fact that I have. It's almost like a security because now I have an attorney that I'm really good friends with. Super good dude. And if I have, because I've thought about like just coming up with business ideas. And I have to call and I'm like, can I do this? Like legally, can I even do this? And why is someone else not doing this?
Yeah.
And so I can just bounce ideas off of him. Or if I ever have a problem, there's been times where I need to kick someone out, and I just call him up. I said, hey, start the process.
Yeah.
And I'll pay him $200 just to start the paperwork. And I tell him, I'm like, I've already contacted my attorney. I'm like, if you guys aren't out by tomorrow, we're going to court. Like, I'm ready to start it. If you guys get your crap out, I'll cancel it, but I'm starting it. Because rent's due on the 1st for me. If they haven't paid by 5 o'clock on the 1st, I'm calling them up. I said, where you guys at? Why haven't I got my money back?
Yep.
If I don't hear back from them, I leave a voicemail and say, we're going to court. I already talked to my attorney.
How long does that process take? From when
If you
your
call,
lawyer?
if you get on, that's why I started doing it on the 1st. If you call on the 1st, you're gonna have the process ready by the end of the month. Like, you're gonna be going to court by the end of the month.
Yeah.
But if you sit around
Yeah.
and you let that person tell you, hey, I'm gonna come up with the money, I'll have it to you by the 15th. You know, I'll get it to you, and then the 15th comes and they're like, oh, I only have $150, so I got $250. Can I bring you that, and I'll get you the rest by the end of the month? And then you give them to the end of the month, and then all of a sudden they're like, I don't have the money.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got to start it. And then they decide they're not going to move out. And then they're going to duck the whole freaking thing, and they're going to hide out and try to avoid the guy that's going to serve them. And then next thing you know, it's 3 months in. You haven't got rent or nothing.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets scary.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just zero tolerance anymore. And when I'm moving someone in, I like meeting these people. Like I enjoy going showing people the houses and renting it out, and I enjoy collecting the money, and I enjoy the good people.
Yeah.
But I tell people when I'm moving them in, I also had an attorney. He wrote me like a 7-page contract. When someone moves in, very, very sturdy, and it's all in our favor. And I tell these people, I'm like, we can be really good friends, and we can get along really good if you pay me rent on time and you take care of my property. Mm-hmm. But if you come in here, you trash the place, and you never pay rent on time, we're not going to get along. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's that simple. And I'm like, I understand things in your life happen. I understand that, emergencies and things happen, but I'm like, this is a business. Yeah. At the end of the day, this is just a business. And you're agreeing to me that you're going to pay me rent, and I'm agreeing that I'm going to take care of this house. Yeah. So when the toilet breaks, I'm going to be there and I'm going to fix it.
Yeah, you'll hold up your end side of the deal.
Yeah.
So they got you too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what I tell them. Like, it's that simple. And there's I'm not like, hey, you're not going to call me up and say, hey, buddy, I'm sorry, I can't pay the rent this week. Can I pay you next week? No.
Yeah.
No. Come up with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pissed off if I drive by and you got a new lawnmower sitting outside or a new car sitting outside. Or I see you down at the gas station filling up your car. Where are you going? You better be going to my gym to pay me. Is where you better be going. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, what's all this other stuff going to do for you that you're out doing if you don't have a place to live?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I tell them, I'm like, I'll take you to court for the whole entire thing. I had a chick one time come in. She was gonna she needed a place to live, and she's like, Ryan, I don't want everybody to know, I want to look at this house. She wanted it, she took it, and she was gonna sign the contract for a year. And I said, listen, if you decide next week that you're gonna go back to your boyfriend, you still have me for a year. Like, we're in a contract for a year. I'm like, and you're gonna have to pay me. So I'm like, this is gonna be a storage unit for a year if you decide to go back. She's like, yeah, I totally understand. It wasn't even a week after she signed the contract. She's like, Ryan, I just can't do it. And she's like, is it too late to get out of our contract? And I'm like, yeah, it's too late to get out of your contract. I told you this when you came and did it. I let her out of it, though. But I didn't give her a deposit back. I'm like, you're just eating the deposit. So I got free $700.
Yeah.
Which gave me time, because I had to go in and, because she wasted half my month anyway. So it basically just made up for the month that she.
Yeah, month rent.
You never get a deposit. They either skip out on the last month or use it for
just get
cleaning
your
the
bills
place back
covered.
up.
I always get my deposit, actually. That's one thing I do get.
Well, I mean,
deposit.
you don't really make the money because they just skip out. They don't pay the last month's rent, or you got to use it for something. So you don't really make
repainting it or something.
Yeah.
Even at the end of the day, these people don't clean it when they're leaving.
No.
They trash it. This actually chick, she had a dog and she let it poop upstairs. I come in, there's freaking hard dog turds up there. I'm like, come on. Like, you couldn't clean up after yourself when you're leaving? I don't know.
We just bought a house in town, and there was 5 big roll-offs in there.
Yeah.
And 3 cats.
We found 3 live cats in there. Like, the stuff was in the basement here. It was piled above your heads. And upstairs the same way. Like, when appliance would break down, they just leave it by another and put beside it. And there's 4 or 5 refrigerators. Yeah. And just same thing with washer and dryers. Like, it was a mess.
Ooh, that's the worst.
It stunk bad.
I couldn't tell you how many times something like that's happened to me when someone moves out and they leave all their food in and it goes bad. Yeah. I've literally just strapped them closed, put them in the back of my truck, took them to the scrapyard and dumped it.
That's what we did.
And I remember the guy at the scrapyard was like, hey, you want your strap back? And I'm like, keep it. I was like, I don't want it back.
This gal had bought it. Her husband bought it to move to town. They never moved to town, so they rented it out. This gal was in there. They kicked her out one time, and then the gal seen her husband, who had dementia, at the Walmart. Was like, hey, can I move in? He's like, yeah. So they let her back in. They had to evict the first time because he had dementia. And she stayed there for years. And the place had 5 roll-offs in it. So this gal had 1 rental. And then we bought the place for almost half was.
Roll-offs? What are you guys saying when you guys say roll-offs?
Like the big 33-foot dumpsters.
Yeah.
In the yard?
You go to Swingers and they dump off a huge dumpster, roll
this was all in the house.
And we'd fill it and get another one. Fill it and get another
5
one.
of them.
Holy
Plus a
crap.
dump trailer full
it was like a hoarder. Completely a hoarder. There's just pathways to
covered
the house.
in cat piss. It was great.
Yeah, and just...
But a person had 1 rental. and like had the worst. Like I've never had that on anything I've owned. But
Yeah.
You did have a car go through your house last week.
That's insurance. Will be fine.
Actually, I think I did see that. I think Chase sent me a
you?
picture of that.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah. What happened there?
Some guy was running from the cops from Rolla. He made it to Cuba, and I don't know how he came from. He came from the backyard and cut through and just barely hit the corner of my front of my house and just like ripped
Blowed
off the
it
whole
open.
front of it, ripped open.
You can look at
Holy
And like
crap.
2 days later, pipe broke in an apartment in Cuba and flooded the whole unit.
Yeah.
So and the renters had moved in like the day before, so all their stuff was just smoke. So.
Insurance pay for that?
Renter insurance.
Yeah, they pay for the first one pretty well, and this one they'll pay for. So that's what people worry about. Oh, what if this happened? I'm like, well, just pay your insurance, you know.
Yeah.
Cool, worry about
Get
it.
good insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make more money.
See, everything that happens with me, it's always non-insurance relatable stuff.
Yeah.
It's always like a furnace that goes out.
yeah. Oh,
I've
yeah.
had a
That-
lot
that
of
hurts.
furnaces go out, man.
Oh, I had
Have you?
like 10 grand
Yeah.
in ACs 2 months ago. It's always
I won't
Yeah.
say anything.
you got to make money. You got to make money on all of them to cover all the ones that don't.
Yeah, well, it happens, and I remember my first one that went out, and it hit me hard because I was still working a full-time job, and it was a lot because I wasn't making a lot at the time, and I'm
You're
like,
grinding out
damn,
there for
yeah, and now it's just like it's part of it,
Yeah.
and it's at the end of the day, I'm like, well, at least I'm good for another 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
probably, and most of them come with at least 15-year insurance on them.
Yeah.
At least the Bryants, I think, do.
We'll buy a lot of furnaces in our life.
Yeah, I'll get my maintenance guy trained on how to do HVAC and stuff just because it's so
He's gonna give a
expensive.
dealership in it just to help you out.
Yeah, because it's the most expensive thing is just heating and cooling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I got my work truck,
Roofs
and
and-
gas card, and just save on all the bigger, more expensive stuff. So
Yeah.
I thought about it one time trying to learn.
yeah,
Yeah.
I finally got to.
I wish I did.
I've got to the point now where like 200's easier than the first
Yeah.
10. You know, just because I've got it figured out and scaled up where you can have people run it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the first 5 are the hardest. But if you're not willing to sacrifice for 5 years, you know, if you can do it 5 years of, you know, grinding it, you know, into something big,
Yeah.
you can, you know, like on rental properties, you put them on a 15-year loan. In 15 years, you can really be making some extra passive money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to be willing to sacrifice for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't willing to give stuff up.
They don't want to
Yeah.
give their weekends or extra money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just put some time in, you know, just
I
stick
heard-
with
And they
it.
want new cars and they want
I
nice
heard,
houses.
I heard that on
and-
podcast the other day. Most people don't get anywhere because they don't want to put short-term pain in for long-term gain.
Yeah,
They just don't want to, grind
Yeah.
out for a few years just to get somewhere.
yeah.
So-
I got a family member that they want to get into it, but like I just don't have the money. And I was like, okay, what kind of car you drive? And they drive some brand new SUV. I'm like, sell it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you got? What do you got in it? $30,000, $35,000? Sell it. There's a $5,000 car out there to get you to A, B. You know, use that money as your first down payment,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
buy a
if you could-
house.
Yeah, if you can scrape up 15 grand, put that money down, reappraise it, do some work, rent it out for higher end rent than what it was maybe, and then reappraise it, pull your money back, and keep doing it. Colton's bought what 25? Doesn't
Yeah,
have any money in it.
26. Yeah, I got 26 units, and yeah, I got like a $100,000 line of credit, $100,000 line of credit. I buy them, try and get good deals, buy them, do a little work, reappraise them, get my money back, do it again, and
Yeah.
again. Yeah,
Bird method.
yeah, the Burr method, but yeah, like no
Yeah.
money out of pocket.
Just doing their one.
just
a
keep
month,
growing.
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
true.
there's gonna be people that don't know what the Burr method is, but
Yeah.
the Burr method is like a company called the Bigger Pockets.
Yeah.
They kind of came up with this. At least they coined the name Burr.
name, yeah.
And it's buy,
Rehab.
rehab,
Yeah, rent out, refinance, repeat.
repeat.
Yeah,
That's
you just
it.
you're just using your money to buy more, and then you get it back and
Yeah.
buy another one.
And even
work
if it doesn't
reappraise
appraise
get your money
enough,
back.
our bank, they'll go off of like income approach.
Yeah, there's 2 ways of doing it.
So
yeah.
if it does better than like say the 1% rule, so if you got 60 all in on a house and 60,000, you get over 600 a month. You know, it'll probably get your money back from an
Yeah.
income approach. Might need to be a little better than that, but if you could get it for 60, all in for 60, rent it out for 700 plus,
But that's
you
a
get your
great
money
way.
back.
If you got some money on line of credit,
Yeah.
and know what stuff
Find
rents
something
for.
that's worth some money.
Yeah, and know what stuff rents for because just because I buy a house from you and you say you rent it for 500,
Yeah.
well, I know in Owensville I can get 800 out of a 3-bed.
Yeah.
So I buy it from you like okay, and then put a new tenant in there in a little bit,
Yeah.
put it out for 800, and then it's worth way more then.
Yeah, the one I saw, you cranked the
that's
rental
what I was
on
going
it.
to say. I did the same thing. I bought it and reappraised it next month, got all my money back, and put it on a loan. And
Especially from older guys, you can find stuff that they've had renters in for 15, 20
low
years.
rents,
$300
yeah.
or $400 a month, and they should be
Do
6
some
to
work
8.
and
Nice.
get the rent up to $600-700.
So don't buy something because thinking that's all it's
And-
worth for rent because it's worth probably
Yeah.
more. They just never fluctuated with inflation.
Right.
I mean, sometimes we'll get more in our money's back.
Mm-hmm.
You get extra money, and then that gives you more to go off of. So
Right. Yeah, the big thing is because I've actually gone to banks that they don't value equity, and I'm like, what?
All banks are different.
I'm like,
yeah.
what? I'm like, that is money.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's use it. And that's exactly where I'm at right now is I'm trying to use equity from a bunch of stuff to buy something else.
You have to, yeah.
And they're like, well, we really want you to put some cash in. And I'm like, okay, refinance all these properties, give me the cash, and then I'll give it back to you. Or you can just take the equity, we can skip that step and just roll it over right into the next one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, it's that easy. But they don't always think, because a lot of these guys are just, they don't have any rental properties.
Yeah.
They don't have any business of their own.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off when I'm in there trying to talk to someone about business, and they've never done any business of their own other than signing contracts.
You got to find a person that can do it for you.
We got a good loan officer. He's got rentals too, so yeah, it helps having somebody that understands the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've come up with a lot of it on our own too, like the farm stuff. They'll do interest only for me for the first 6 months to a year. So just kind of stuff you kind of
Just to
work
get
on
you
together.
started so you can build up some equity in it.
I just do it all of it now just because I'd rather, instead of a $3,000 a month payment on farm, I'll just do interest only. Basically rent the money until I sell it and I pay it back with interest. And so they're kind of flexible. You just got to find a bank that's flexible and willing to go with you.
I know a lot of people that do that with like boats and cars and all kinds of stuff. Like if you just want to have a boat for the summer, you just go on an interest only loan, have it, you make like, it's like $90 a month and you're driving a $20,000 boat and you have stupid cheap insurance on it. And you just do it and then resell it winter time.
Yeah, that's what I do with land just because might get it sold and they get the money back.
Yeah. What you guys are doing to make some more money, not just flex.
Oh, yeah.
Flex the money you're making.
Yeah, I don't care about what people think of me.
Yeah, me neither, man. That's kind of just where I'm at anymore. I'm like, I'm just going to do whatever makes me happy.
Yeah.
Just keep chasing that. And I think that's the ultimate goal, really.
It is.
That's where you really find your happiness at.
Yeah.
Because you say you don't have to work that much anymore, but you do because you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm at too. I just I still got to work. I don't make that much money, but I enjoy working.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. I had a guy ask me the other day at the gym. We were talking about my podcast, and this is my third podcast this week, and I would have done one yesterday if I had the time, but I had my full day scheduled with meetings and other stuff. And he's like, "Don't you ever take any time off?" I'm like, "Not if it's up to me. Like, I don't want to come home and watch TV. Like, I have no interest in that. Like, I enjoy doing this. This keeps my brain stimulated."
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's
a big thing. So like all this land, I know you guys are big in hunting, right? You guys bow hunt all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You guys always been doing that?
Yeah.
That you get that
Yeah.
from your dad.
No, he hunts a little bit, but our older brothers, they hunted. So we just grew up doing it. So
We probably hunt more than Reston, but the last 5-6 years,
yeah.
we've gotten serious. We go 4 or 5 states a year.
Well,
State trips. And,
Didn't you just go out of the country?
Yeah, I went to Africa. Just got back from Africa, hunting over there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. It was fun. So next year, hoping to go to Alaska once or twice. So
But you guys hunt for not only for the game, but you guys eat all the meat you guys kill.
yeah.
So that's a big thing too.
Oh, yeah. I got married 5 years ago. Me and the wife, we've never bought any meat since we've been married. We just eat deer meat usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever we hunt.
Really? You guys don't buy no cows?
No. We never bought
beef
any
like
meat.
that? Wow.
So
You bought beef? No, like steaks and chicken and stuff like that, though.
chicken, I guess. Yeah, we never bought any beef. I
Like
guess is what I'm
ground
saying. Yeah.
No beef.
No.
That's not really that great anyway. Steaks though. I mean steaks. I like me a good like ribeye or
Yeah.
prime rib, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we eat deer for like call it grind meat.
Yeah, grind
But
meat
we buy steaks.
and steaks and fry meat usually what I do, and jerky. But
you guys don't have cows though, right?
No, our parents have a
we
bunch.
don't.
Oh, okay. So you're
we got
so you get it from your
we got a
dad.
big family farm. They
we
raise a lot of
farm,
cows,
Oh,
100
that's-
cows. But
Awesome then.
Yeah.
we're not into that.
I don't like them, but things get tough. I know there's a herd of cows out there.
I
that's-
go eat one.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's honestly it's a great way to do it. I've never bought like a cow before, but that's where I'm starting to get to now.
about it.
Because I never really hunted before. Like when I've always been like I always got a lot of energy, like always have. And even my dad's the same way. Like he's kind of just a workaholic, and I remember going and sitting in stands as a kid, and we never had nice stands. And like I remember just sitting out there for like an hour, and I'm like, I'm bored, let's go, And so like I don't know, we just never really stuck with it because my dad was the same way. Yeah. But the older I get, the more I like start to get interest in it, and I started to think about like maybe I should try this out again. Like maybe I should start trying it again. So it's something I've been working on. But don't you guys like how big of a freezer you guys gotta have for all this meat?
We give a lot of it away, so I'll butcher like 4 deer for myself, and then probably give the rest of them away.
Yeah.
We just we eat it, but we like hunting. We just enjoy it.
Yeah.
We get a big group together and go deer hunting. All our buddies go deer driving, and we have a good time. So
Yeah.
Like, does the meat from Africa? Can you bring that back?
No,
You can't bring that back.
we ate it there and it was really good. It was like eating deer here or beef.
What'd you kill?
Kudu, Ginsbuck, Impala, and Blessbuck.
So you just cook it up there, and then whoever around there keeps it.
Yeah. I think they cook some for us, and I think they give it away or sell it.
Sure.
But it's big business over there.
It's like a guided tour
They
type
give
of
to
thing.
orphanages too, don't they?
Yeah.
Some of the meat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they
I mean,
say. But yeah, it's like big outfits and stuff over there.
Yeah.
So a lot of money in it over there.
What's it like flying down there? Is this kind of sketchy?
No, it wasn't too bad. No, it was a pretty good company we went through, and it was pretty good. We
Pretty
had
safe.
a day layover, so that kind of sucked, but it was a 15-hour flight. But
15-hour flight.
Yeah.
You go to Texas and then fly down.
we went to.
Or is that
New
not
York
how it
and then
works?
crossed.
New York and cross over.
Yeah.
Because that's how it actually is. You know, is Africa down below Europe? How's that
Yeah.
set up?
Yeah,
It's right
where we
below
went
Europe?
was South Africa, so it was down at the bottom.
So you kind of cut across.
He went to Africa twice this year.
Yeah, I went in January. Our group of guys from church went over there and put in wells for orphanages, or put in like the pumps.
Uh-huh.
So I went over there in the winter, our winter and the summer there, and I went over in our summer when it was winter there. So I just went over there twice this year.
You hunted in the winter.
Their winter, yeah.
Their winter.
Yeah, we were sitting around a fire every night. It was nice.
What's a winter like there?
That was the hottest week
It's
here.
just
It was
like
like 100
Texas.
degrees, and you're in a hoodie, weren't you? Over
Yeah,
there?
it's just like Texas over there. It's like brush country, and it's like coldest it gets like 40.
Okay.
You know, so it'd be 60 during the day. So it's nice to hunt in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably just nice weather.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
nice.
pretty cool.
Yep. So I went over there twice this year. So.
But you're not in a stand, are you?
No, mostly like stalking. I was sitting in a stand one day over like a watering hole. That's where I shot the kudu. So you can kind of hunt however you want. Depends on if you bow or gun hunt.
Now, like the antlers and stuff. You don't keep none of that?
Yeah, they tan them and then send it over.
Oh,
So we'll
okay.
mount them and everything.
It'll
That's
take up
part
like
of the package.
Yeah.
It'll take it within up to a year to get them back.
Yeah, 6 months. I
Less,
think,
yeah.
that's all it
It
is.
takes some time, but they'll come.
So they got to tan all the hides so they don't rot and send them over.
But it's not a full mount.
Yeah, we'll do a full mount.
It is a full mount, not like
Well,
European mount.
No, they'll send them over. Then my brother,
They'll
who's
send
a
the-
Texan, they'll mount them.
Yeah, they'll send the hides and horns over,
and then
but they
he'll mount
tan
them.
the hides over there and then send them.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
Quite the process.
Oh yeah,
That's
we stopped at where they drop them off, and there's just thousands of them there. You know, they do so many for people.
Now, I mean, whenever I think of Africa, I just think of just like deserts, but it's
Yeah.
not like that.
that's what I think of.
Where we went over to do the work on the wells. That was like beautiful. Like it was beautiful, rolling hillsides, a lot of farmland. It was really nice. Where we went the second time, that was more just, it looked like Texas brush country. It was open. There's some stuff like between the mountains that was irrigated, and it was really nice. But it was kind of a mixture. But no, like I.
But you're
haven't been-
camping every night.
No, we
No?
stayed in pretty nice places
Oh, really?
on the hunting trip.
You're not roughing it then.
No. But no, I mean I've never been to desert part, but where I was at, it was pretty nice. It wasn't much different than the States as far as what it looked like.
Yeah. Can you understand everybody? Or is there like a language
in
barrier?
Uganda, we couldn't. Some could be English, but most of them didn't. But we were in South Africa hunting. A lot of them speak English there. So it's weird though. Like in Uganda, everything's in English, the signs and everything, but they
Yeah.
don't speak English.
Huh.
But I kind of picked up enough of the language by like the last of the week. I could kind of deal with people there.
Yeah.
Because I go to town every day with the main guy and buy supplies.
Yeah.
So by the end, I would just kind of go tell them what I needed and.
All friendly. So
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
like.
they're all real nice people. Yeah, I mean it's a good culture over there. It's just like there's just so much poverty because they make like $2 or $3 a day, but the cost of living is almost the same as here. Like a truck costs $40,000, a box of screws costs $20, so it's like almost impossible to get ahead there.
Right.
So they like walk everywhere. They just go collect water every day, and I think over there they said a child spends like 3/4 of his life just carrying water. But like the water is just like nasty, like it's just ponds, old ponds and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's rough. It's like dirt floor, poor third world stuff. Like they never revolved at all. You might see a few cell phones and a metal roof, but otherwise it's just like sticks and mud.
Dang.
So it's kind of weird. Like there'll be some cell phones, but then you'll be living in a mud house.
Yeah.
So it was different. But the country side and everything was really nice. It was full of natural resources. Mm-hmm. And they just had good leadership. They could.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is the leadership over there?
Yeah, I guess it's a dictatorship, and it's just, they do what they want.
Pour
They don't
their
do
head.
anything for the people at all.
There's somebody living good over there.
Oh yeah, but like they have
Just
dams.
like one or two guys though.
Yeah, they have like hydro-engineered dams for electricity, but they sell all of it to other countries. So like they don't even get their own electric. So everything gets shipped out of country. They grow a lot of fruit and timber and stuff there, but it all goes out.
Yeah,
So,
that all gets sold off.
So they really get hosed.
Yeah, yikes. Well, I mean,
But
looking
it's
at
interesting.
it,
Like I've been all over hunting, but that was like the one place where it was like an experience. People talk about an experience. It was like an experience just seeing it. It was so different.
yeah, I believe it.
But it was interesting to see.
Definitely gives you a good perspective on
Oh, yeah.
on just life,
Yeah.
everything like that. You gonna go someday?
Someday, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like on your bucket list for sure.
Yeah, I'll go someday. This year I'm taking over the well business, so I was building a big shop. I just got it done, but that's where all my money went this year. So
Yeah.
I didn't go on the trip. I told him I would.
Colton's a homebody. Yeah, we bought it on a benefit, and he was half lit, and they're like, oh, I'm all in, raising his hand. He's like, oh, I'm not gonna go the next day.
Yeah.
Well, so your dad's retiring,
Yeah. So
and you're taking over full
My
time.
grandpa started the well business back in 1971. He ran it a few years, and Dad worked for him. And then Dad took it over for 47 years. Now he's retiring, so then I'm gonna buy it out from him and keep it going. So
I don't know what you know as much as your dad.
no,
No,
I don't know.
like
Probably
it's
not.
hard. It's hard to. And he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, your dad's like the well guy, man.
Yeah.
Like if I ever have a problem, your dad's the guy I go
Yeah.
to.
He's
Yeah.
a grumpy wizard
That-
of the wells.
Dude, the one time I had a problem with my well, I just put a brand new well pump in the year before, and I regret not using your dad. Like at the time, I didn't even think about it. It was
Yeah.
like I was just in a crunch, and somebody recommended somebody else. Or like, call this guy. He's really good. And he came out, and I'm pretty sure I got screwed on the deal.
Yeah.
And then a year later, the well pump went out again, quit working. But I could flip the breaker off and then back on, and all of a sudden be working perfect for like a day, and then stop. And I had the same guy that put it in, come out, and he was like trying to tell me we were gonna have to replace it all over again, rerun a wire from the pump to my house, so it was gonna tear my driveway up. And I was like, no way, dude. I was like, absolutely not. And I was like, I need to call somebody else. And at this point, I'm already thinking of your dad. And I called him, and he came out on a Saturday. I'm pretty sure it was a Saturday. He's like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, nothing. What am I gonna do without water? And he's like, well, I'll come out and check it out. And he came out, and he did it exactly how you think you should do it. Diagnosed it from step one, do it all. He's like, well, we need to test this. We need to test this and test this. And, we just tracked it all the way to where we found the problem.
Yeah.
And it was like, I guess there's like the pump has like a computer on the top, at the top of the well, I guess, of some kind.
Control box.
Yeah, like a control box.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not sure, but I think this is it. And he put the control box on it for free. He had one. He's like, I'll put one on it. And he's like, let's just give it a try and see if it fixes it. He's like, I think this is it. He's like, I can't promise you, but he's like, if it's it, it's $250. He's like, if it's not it, I'll come and take it back, and we'll keep working on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Never had a problem since.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's smart on. I think half the people he tells how to fix it over the phone.
Really? Just because he doesn't want to come out?
Yeah.
Well, I remember when he was here, because I don't have a water softener.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the things here. He was like taking all the things off the bottom of my faucets and everything like that. He's like, is it vinegar that dissolves it?
Yeah, vinegar.
He's like, get a bucket and put some vinegar in it and put all this stuff in it. He's like, it'll clean it right up. He's like, you don't need to buy anything new.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then that's what he was telling me about you. He's like, you need to get my boy Colton out there and put some water softeners in for you.
I do a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, he's good at them.
I still need to get a water softener. I'm just too cheap to do it because it costs me nothing to just deal with it,
I had one. I quit using it, so you don't need one that bad.
Really?
I didn't like the soft water, so.
It was weird to use.
Yeah.
I think it'd be weird for
I'm
me to
the same
get
way.
used to.
I don't like
And
the
I went
taste
by
of
the
soft
soft.
water, but I built a new house a few years ago, and I ran a hard water line just to my kitchen sink where we drink water out of.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so I don't have to drink the soft water, but
Yeah.
But that's the only faucet in my house that's lined up now, and it doesn't hardly shut off anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
It-
I mean,
it's gotten that bad that
protects
quick.
all your appliances and stuff, but yeah, for drinking it, don't taste that good.
Oh, dude, my washer,
Yeah.
like washer and dryer, my washer, it just sits and drips. I guarantee we walk in there right now, it's probably got that much water in it. And I just deal with
Yep.
it. It just is what it is,
I
you know.
see that all
Like,
the time.
I remember when I bought the place, it was like completely seized up with calcium all around it. And what is that stuff? Like it's supposed to dissolve it. It's like just in a spray can. CLR, is that what it is?
I never used it.
Calcium, lime, and something else. Well, I just freaking hosed it down with that, cleaned it up. So
It worked?
So it worked. Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
And because I've done it in some other houses too.
You
and just
usually
cleaned
put
it up.
a bag of vinegar over it overnight, and it'll dissolve it. But
Yeah. This is old. Like, it is old. It's from the freaking 70s at least, you know. And it's definitely the original one that came in, but it works, you know. I just deal with it. I don't think I'm going to be here forever.
Yeah.
I was actually, that house I just bought and sold, I was thinking about moving into it.
Were you?
But I bought this house in 2018, when the market was really cheap, and I bought it. It was all beat up. The doors were all busted out and boarded up. It was just rough.
Yeah.
And so I'm in it really cheap. And
Did you buy some land with this? Or you?
Yeah. And I sold it, and now someone built next to me.
I seen that.
I messed
That's
up
beautiful.
there, man. It's a beautiful house, yeah. But I messed up there. I should have kept it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was thinking, just thinking, how cheap can I have a house? Like, that's what I was thinking.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, these places out in the country, they appreciate really well. Like, you'll do good. When you leave, you'll probably double your money.
You'll double it.
Yeah, that's Chase has been big on. Every time Chase comes by my house, he's like, "Let's sell that place. Let's sell that place." Yeah, and I would. Like, I really don't need this big of a house. Like, I got way too much going on here.
Yeah.
I bought it because I like being out in the country, and it had a shop on it, and I redid the shop and put a lift and all that stuff in it. And this is when I was big into auto body.
Yeah.
So I was going to work on cars, and I thought that was where I was going to go in my life. And now, I couldn't tell you last time I worked on a car.
Yeah.
I didn't even change my whole
I always
oil.
thought you were going to get into that, start your own shop, auto body shop. But
I probably will one day.
will you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm starting to fall back in love with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I just did it for so long, from 16 all the way to 27. That's all I did.
Yeah.
I was flipping cars on the side, and I was working in a body shop, and I was just grinding.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I'm like, this is not where the money's at.
Yeah.
Like, I make maybe $1,000, $2,000 on a car if I do it right.
Yeah.
Like, if I get in it right.
I went to school for auto body for 2 years, and
Did
I haven't
you really?
used it at all.
I didn't know
like
that.
I said, I wish I went to HVAC or something. Like,
Yeah.
Of course, you never know what you're going to end up doing.
No. Dude, we do this podcast in 5 years from now. We could all be doing something else. You never know where we'd be at.
I don't know.
How long you guys been in real estate?
5 years.
5 years.
I've been in a year and a half. You asked if we started together. No, before you bought it, we talked about doing it together, but I wasn't ready. So he took off with it for several years, but
Kept turning me down. I had an apartment deal last year.
Yeah,
I offered him half on.
I should have.
Down.
But I just wasn't ready. I bought some land, built a house, and then I was ready to start rentals and stuff.
You ever regret any of that?
No. That was the best thing I ever did.
This is how crazy I am. I've even thought about selling this house here and just renting it from someone.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, man, could I find a way to get this place cheap enough, sell it to someone cheap enough where I could get it at a decent rent and just live here?
We can talk about it.
Yeah. Well, now I got a new roof on it. I got a new HVAC unit in it. I put all this money in it. But yeah, it would have saved me a ton of money. New well pump, that was $2,500 one day.
Yeah, you can make some money. The problem is if you're renting something that you don't appreciate, you don't have a place that doubles in value every 10, 15 years.
That's true.
So you're stuck just paying rent. Like, it may be cheaper for a while, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
You don't
You're
get ahead
100%
of
right there.
inflation.
like I was telling
It'll run away from you.
one podcast I did, I said my dad had a business and they invested in stocks, and then they had the family farm, and the family farm did the best in their lifetime on going up in value.
Really?
It's like it's $1 million farm now, and their stocks didn't do that, the business didn't do that. It just shows you good real estate. Stuff out in good school districts or good apartment buildings that have good income. Like real estate will probably do better than almost anything over time.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah. If you just hold on to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're trying to do it if you're buying and selling a lot, you might take a hit every now and then.
Yeah.
Like if you hit the wrong side of the market.
Yeah.
But if you just hold on to it for a long time,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you're
going
gonna
to do
come
all
out
right.
right.
Yeah, keep it up, add value. Like my rental properties, I could probably be cheaper, but try to keep them up nice. Just so they're worth way more.
Yeah.
Future.
You guys ever thought about solar?
Nope.
Nothing? Ever looked into it or just have no interest in
I
it?
just never really looked into it.
Well, it was something that I've been interested in for a long time. I just like the idea of it. It sounded kind of nice. And I remember Elon Musk, he's got these solar, they're like solar tiles. Like it was actually built into the roof.
Yeah.
But they don't offer in Missouri yet. But he has it where basically you can put in the square footage of your house, and if it's 1,000 square foot, you could get it super, super cheap. He'd do it for a long time and just really, really cheap. And at one time I was thinking about just putting these solar panels on all my houses because I want to save us only $150 a month for all these solar panels payments. And I was just going to charge an extra $200, $250 for electric, on top of the rent, instead of $700 a month, it'd be $900 a month, but I cover electric. Yeah. And then, I could make a little money off top of the solar panels as well. But he didn't offer in Missouri, but I have right now at my gym, because it's a 10,000 square foot building. And I've been interested for a long time, but it was just, they didn't offer in Missouri, and every other company just seemed so expensive. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a company out of Springfield just offered me a deal where, basically it'll break even They take they average out your electric bills every single month, which mine are pretty expensive there, and they figure out how many panels they need to put on your roof to be able to make you come out all right. And they can do 70%, 100%, or 130, so where it produces more or it produces a little less. And he actually did it to where it was like somewhere around like 85%. And he's like, he explained to me that basically if you over generate with your solar panels, you're paying like 12% or 12 something on per kilowatt. I don't know exactly how it was, but you're paying like $12 a kilowatt or something like that versus you're only getting like $2 a kilowatt back. Yeah. So he's like, they're not really buying it back for what you're overproducing. Yeah. So he's like, you're better off to do a little less and then just have to pay like $20 to the electric company and then have the solar run the rest. But yeah, this company, and I'm thinking about doing it too, because they'll lease it for 20 years. So I don't even have to buy it. No money down. They cover the first year of payments. And then Ameren's been running a special with like I guess they got like a fund or like a grant or something like that. Yeah. And they like figured up like what with the amount of panels that I got, they would give me $13,500 back for getting these panels. So basically 3.5 years, I wouldn't have to make a single payment on these panels. And they're covered full warranty for the whole 20 years. And if you averaged out my electric bill, my average electric bill was like $900 a month. It was like $898 or $96 or something like that. And my panel payment was only $828. So on average, I'm saving $50 a month. But he was talking about like every year, electric goes up like roughly 4%. This past year, he said it went up 4.8%, like the average cost of your electric bill. And so he took it and he's like, if you go up, let's say 4% every year for the next 20 years, I was going to pay like $390,000 for over electric over that time. But the solar panels, if I was making the payment, was only $198. And so he's like, in the long run, you are saving money. Yeah. You're not making money, but you're going to save yourself $200,000. Because he's like, this is a fixed rate. It's all 100% covered under warranty. It's all under a lease. He's like, if you sell the building, you can sell the lease out with it. And I was just like...
What about after 20 years? Do you get them or do they release them?
After 20 years, they've devalued so much that I only have to pay $6,500 for the panels. Yeah. So if I didn't want them, they come and take them all away. Yeah. But he's like, if you want to keep them, we'll sell them to you for $6,500 because that's the worth of it. Yeah. And it's all in contract. And I was like, man, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, the people I've talked to before that were looking into it, it was kind of like that. It just wasn't worth the hassle. It sounded like it's getting better now.
Yeah.
It wasn't much savings.
Yeah, because every time I talked to him, it was just like, this ain't really worth it. It kind of sucks. But I don't know. Like the year of payments plus the chunk of change you get off of it. And it's all covered. Like it's all fully warrantied out. There's like one thing that's like that attaches to your breaker box. And it's like a converter or something. He said that it's only got like a 5-year life on it. And he's like, when it goes out, it's about $1,500. And he's like, the reason there's a 5-year warranty on it is because those are the things that always go out. Yeah. But he's like, the panels, we never have any problems with the panels. He's like, they hold up really, really well. We don't really have any problems. They're covered under hail, all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking about doing it. Yeah. Just trying it out there. And then I don't know if you can, because it was a commercial. It was like a commercial thing where you get a deal for doing it on commercial buildings. Because I asked him about my rental properties and he's like, well, they're kind of considered residential. Really. So that's kind of stuff I'm worried about. Now, do you guys finance like your HVAC work? You guys ever finance that kind of stuff? No. Just pay for it.
Yeah, management company pays for it and comes out of the rent.
Well, if you got to place a whole unit, they just take it out of the rent?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that you could, because like I've had a lot go out, and I paid for like 5 of them before my HVAC company started telling me like, hey, you can finance these through us, right? And I'm like, for how much? And they do it for 0% interest. Yeah. So it's absolutely free. Yeah. Basically, and I'm like, well, you should have told me that 5 units ago because I'd love to have all that cash back. Yeah. I could have put it in who knows what. Yeah. A down payment for another rental property. Yeah. Sure would have been nice.
No, they just take it out, and we have them every month, so we'd have to write the payments if we put them all on payments by now.
That would add up.
Yeah. Sure.
So we just pay for it and move on.
Yeah.
Take the hit.
And that's why you got to keep buying more and more.
Yeah.
Because
And
if
they
you
all
only
need to-
have 5, that's where it hurts you.
Yep.
Yeah, like we didn't make any money until we had. Colton did better, but I didn't make any money per month until I had over 20 at least.
Yeah.
You know, we try to make each unit tries to make $200 a month net after you pay all the bills. You need to make at least $200 a month net, so that way combined, you know, it pays for something big going out.
Yeah. I had to get about a dozen before I started making it.
And the only reason they weren't making money is because you're taking all the equity out and refinancing it, right?
No, just because of like maintenance stuff like that, big bills.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you got a few, it seemed like the maintenance just eats up the cash flow.
Yeah.
Well, when you got a bunch of them, I don't know. It seems like there's enough cash flow coming in. It pays the maintenance plus some. You come out
Even
ahead.
if you only had 10 to 20 and they broke even for 20 years till it paid off, that's still, you know, a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to
yeah.
be losing money every month on them, you know, especially if I was going to get a bunch.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
if you can make a couple $100 a month per unit, you know, you do fine on them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of tough to do sometimes, but you just got to look for a better deal.
Yeah, you just got to wait.
Yeah.
Can't be greedy.
Make low ball offers and see who wants to sell.
Yeah, a lot of people are just scared to make an offer.
A lot of offers and follow-ups. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's off market.
We bought a lot of stuff off market, probably like 70, 80%.
This year we bought a lot
off
more.
market. Like everything. Like in town now, like I advertise a lot. And I know about everything before it goes on.
Everybody's telling us they can't find deals right now, but we're still buying.
Yeah.
And good
Your sign that says I buy houses, I stole that. Right outside my gym. Yeah, I got a sign outside my
I seen it
gym.
out there today.
Yeah, I did it because I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a freaking.
We-
You're
we
dumb
got
if you're
one-
not doing it.
Yeah. And I mean, I may got $1,000 invested in all of it, but like
You
one
pull a
deal,
lot of deals off of it.
Yeah,
You've
and
thrown me deals.
it's almost
I just got a
like,
deal off of it.
Yeah,
you?
it's almost
Yeah.
like it's kind of like business, like word of mouth and being a good business owner does better than advertising. You know, like I bought a 30 units. From
That
a
is
gal.
advertising though.
Yeah, we bought 30 units from a gal, and her husband died, and her other business partner. We bought the 1 unit building from him, and then they're like, "You want to buy the other side?" And he was in the hospital with COVID. He died while we had the other side in our contract. So her husband and the business partner both died from COVID before I even got it both sides bought. And she's told so many people, you know, about us. We probably bought 50 units that she's referred people over to us just from her. But like you get one person that calls from a sign that then tells their friends. So we've got more deals by people just telling people, just like any good business.
Yeah.
But they definitely help
Yeah.
advertising.
I get a lot of people that bought their house, like paid way too much for their house. Got in it, they bought it because they were going to fix it up. They paid way too much for it.
Oh, yeah.
They started dumping money into it, and now they're like, "Hey, would you like to buy this? It's 75% done. Here's the price on it." And I'm like, I would have to put 20 grand into it, and then I'd be
Yeah.
still way over. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. So
Yeah, I have people call me every week wanting to sell their house, and I'm like, first question, what do you want for it? Because I'm not going to waste a bunch of time here if you want $100,000 for it, you know.
yeah.
You know, so
That
that's usually
doesn't
my
make
first
sense.
question to see what they need out of it.
Yeah, well, and with this like crazy inflated market, and everybody's telling everybody like, you know, you put $20,000 more in your house, ask 20% more, you know, it's going to be the bidding war or whatever. Like it's inflated everybody's heads.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks their house is worth so much. I had a lady offer me a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house, and it was rough. It was really rough. Like she was showing me like a clean out for a toilet that a branch always because they have this old like clay tile.
Yeah, roots growing.
Yeah, and so the roots go through it all the time. She's like, yeah, we had to cut this spot out so we could always run a snake through it. And she wanted 80 grand for it. 1 bedroom, 1 bath in Owensville. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't pay 80 grand for that.
yeah.
I just wouldn't bring any money.
Yeah.
I'm like 35,000. I'll give you if
Yeah.
you want it. But
And then at the end of the
Something
day, a small, tiny house like that, bringing in $500 a month may not even be worth your hassle of
Right.
going through all it, especially if it has a lot of maintenance.
right, yeah, it had all kinds of little stuff on it. So that's why I was like 35,000. You know,
Yeah.
it was but sometimes I feel bad shooting these offers to people. You know, because I almost feel like I'm insulting them, but I'm like, this is what it's worth. Like if you don't agree, I'm sorry,
We do
but
that a lot.
I tell people, I'm like, I'm not saying your house isn't worth. You want 100 for it. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
worth 100. I'm just saying for me to make money on it, I have to pay you
Yeah.
70,000.
This
Like,
is
that's the
what
most
I'm
I can
offering
pay.
you.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to buy it for
Yeah.
investment. I gotta make money. And most of the time, I'm like, oh, that's fine. We want more. And I'm like, okay. But sometimes
Yeah.
you're like, well, we understand.
Yeah.
They seem like they understand though. You just tell them, hey,
Yeah, you're giving
It's
them
a
a reason
business.
why you're lowballing them.
yeah.
'Cause this is just what I have to buy them at.
I agree. You just
Yeah.
gotta be honest
Yeah,
and
you're
upfront
not-
with them. That's what I tell them too. I'm like, this is a business. I'm doing it I'm doing it for my business. I'm like, this is what I gotta do it to be able to make money on it. And I just a lot of times I try to just go off the 1% rule,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how I'm just like, are we even in the same ballpark?
Yeah.
yeah,
And so there's other people that are investors, but they're flippers, and people that just flip houses all the time and have no rental properties. They're just not in the same mindset.
yeah.
And so I'm just like, listen,
Yeah.
I got to get it for this price to be able to rent it for this price because this is all it's going to bring.
Yeah, but no, definitely our signs, word of mouth, following up on leads. We bought a lot off market and just kind of we've been around enough. Now people know that they want to sell something, give us a chance at it.
Yeah, the market cooled also. People say, yeah, there's no deals, which is right, but that's when we start picking up off market deals.
Yeah.
More people.
Yeah, and you can get a little creative too.
Yeah.
I've learned to get creative. Like if they have like a lot of them, I try to find places with like shops or sheds on them that maybe I could just turn them into 1 or 2 little storage units, split them down the middle, charge $50 a side, private storage.
Yeah.
I make some money that way too.
Yeah, I'm buying a place in Cuba. Supposed to get it under contract. And he has head set on wanting to do owner financing. And I don't have a problem with owner financing, but I'd rather just go through the bank and do it through the bank. But he wanted to do owner financing. And I followed up on this guy for weeks.
He wanted to do owner financing.
Yeah, he done that with all his other rentals. He would sell them to people, and then they would just leave. Or he said he had a couple places paid off. People would pay him off. Most of the time, people would just never pay him off. They'd leave, and he'd get the house back. So that's what he's used to doing. And I think he just wanted to pass some money. He didn't want to pay taxes, he said. But I followed up with this guy 4 or 5 times. Finally, he's like, yeah. Because he's had somebody interested, and I guess they fell through, and I followed up with him, and he's like, yeah, go look at it. So it's been going on for like a month now, but looks like we finally get a deal of it. But it's a good deal. You know, it's
Not owner financing it though. Just giving them the cash.
no, he wants owner finance, so I'll probably do it. And the terms are better than the bank, so
Yeah.
it'll
Well,
work out.
screw it.
Yeah, and it should bring. in,
It's
like,
all legal under contract, right?
Yeah.
You have it all.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have lawyers that like the title company look at and run titles,
Yeah.
so they know it looks good, but it should be fine. And if a person was going to get into it, owner finance would be a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I just don't really need to.
I mean, I'd owner finance every single property if someone would give it to me for the right price.
Yeah.
Like, right interest and everything.
But yeah, and it should once I raise rents a little bit and fill it up, it should bring in $6,000 a month. I'm paying like $275, so it's a good deal. There's good deals out there. I bought them great deals the last couple of years. You just gotta keep looking for them.
Yeah. You got to look for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, look daily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be relentless.
Yeah. You got to stay hungry.
That's how we get our deals.
Yeah, and look for value.
People wonder
adds.
how we're always getting them because we're always looking.
Yeah, I bought an apartment that needed, like I paid $80,000 for this 15-unit apartment. It looked terrible. Like we walked through and I told Cole, I said, if you want to go with it, Cole's like, I don't want anything to do with it. And I said, okay. And I even had a hard time pulling the trigger on it. I kicked around for a couple weeks and I was like, yeah, it's too good of a deal not to do. And I was so busy at the time, I was like, well, next year I'm going to get out of the tree, so I should have more time. And it's been great. We put $250 into it. So we're all into it for like $300,000, but it brings in almost $10,000 a month. So it's a good deal. It just took a lot of work to get there. But
Yeah.
What,
That's
6
part of it, though.
yeah, 6 months.
Yeah.
Part of it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Then you build
biggie.
equity in it.
Once it's all said and done with, you're like, okay, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
No, yeah, looking
Yeah.
back about it. And I mean, like that was the thing. Like the first house I ever tried to flip, that was more of a pain than this apartment complex was. So just doing stuff, getting used to it, and learning how to.
More of a
get
pain because you had
guys.
a lot of stuff you had to learn.
Yeah, we just didn't know anything. I even did it with a buddy of mine, and it still just took forever. Didn't know anything. Had a hard time selling it. Never did sell it. We just rented it out finally. And this one, I just hired a guy. He was there full time. I would check in a couple times a week, but he just kind of ran it for me. And it was just way easier. It seemed like
Yeah.
the first couple of them are always the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you learn a lot of stuff. Like sometimes, you learn like what you're good at and what you're not good at.
Yeah.
And there's things anymore where I'm just like, I'm paying someone because it's going to be
Your money ahead.
money ahead just to have them do it because they know how to do it right.
Yeah.
It's going to take me 3 times as long to do it myself, and I'm probably going to cost more money because I'm going to mess it up the first time and have to redo it again.
Yeah.
And every time I do that, every time I try to do something myself to save $1 and it costs me more, I hate myself for it.
Yeah.
Hate myself.
I've
Like,
done
damn it,
that.
Ryan, you should have paid the freaking money to do it right.
Yeah, I've learned I'm good at finding undervalued real estate and pay someone else. 'Cause no
Do
one's
the
gonna
rest.
find you. No one's gonna find you a deal. Chase, my wife's a realtor. No one's gonna find you a deal in this life.
Yeah.
They may hit you up now and then, but like there's like 3 or 4 places where realtors actually brought it to me. So you gotta go out there and you gotta find them
I've-
yourself. And I can pay people to do everything else, but
I've
find
had
good
maybe
deals.
1 or 2 deals that realtors brought me. But yeah, the rest of it's just looking.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Maybe you guys need a better realtor. Because I don't
We know
have
a lot
that
of
many.
them, but
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times where there's so many other people in looking too, and
yeah.
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 You just can't count on anybody to if you want to buy a bunch of them.
you got to look yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we're trying to buy them before they go to the realtor for the market. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where the deals are.
Yeah, and you save 6% by doing it that way too.
Yeah. Just,
I totally agree with that. Well, and like you just making yourself available and saying, "Hey, I'm interested. I can make it happen." That's why whenever I was going to sell my house,
yep.
that's why I was either keep renting it, or I was going to offer it to some people I know. I knew you were interested. This is right when you were first starting to grow a little bit. And
I've
I was
hit
like,
you up 2 or 3 times.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so I went straight to you, and I'm like, you want to buy this? This is the price. You can make money on it. This is what it can rent for.
Yep.
And I'm like, come get it off my hands.
We're good. Yeah, I offer everybody usually cash, just 2 weeks close in 2 weeks. You have title clerks.
Mm-hmm.
Pay cash, make it easy for them, and
Yeah.
it'll get you a better price a lot of times. But
Oh,
as
yeah.
far
But
as
yeah.
having like a good buying reputation, like I kind of got, like I don't beat anybody up. Like I tell them what I offer my prices,
Yeah.
but I don't go through and do inspections. Because like a lot of people look at something and they have an inspection and they want you to do a bunch of work.
Yeah.
Like I don't do anything. I tell
That's
them a
true.
price.
They want to get inspections. They
Yeah.
want to get
We always say
appraisals. Then they nitpick
inspections,
stuff.
No inspections, cash, 2 weeks a lot of times, and that'll get you a better price.
I'm the same way.
And they make
Yeah.
it simple. Because in my opinion, I'm like, you look at this house, don't come back to me saying, hey, this needs to be fixed. Like you see it, you should have negotiated that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Buyer beware.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just make it pretty simple for the seller.
Yeah, whenever I buy something and the freaking AC unit goes out a month later, I'm like, well, Ryan, that was your dumb fault. You know how to look at an AC unit and tell it's 20 years old
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's all rusted out and stuff. I'm like, if you didn't like it, you should have done something when you bought it. Should have asked $5,000 off or something like
Yeah.
that. Or got $5,000 more on
And
oil
we've
or
done that
something.
on deals. If there's something wrong with a bad roof or something, we'll say we want so much back at closing. And
It all depends on who's got the leverage. If you're wanting to
Yeah.
buy it, you pay them what they want and you get it on a contract. If
well,
it's
like
been on
yours,
the market for
there's a
6
good price.
months,
Yeah.
I just knew to buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, other things. Yeah,
It's a
you
good house, man. It really was a good house.
Don't lowball them, show them, hey, this is what the problem is, and this is what it takes to fix it. Just give me that back at closing,
Yeah.
and then they're more willing to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we wrap it up? I think we're like an hour and a half in.
Yep. I'll get some supper.
Yeah.
Head home.
Wrap it up. I think it was pretty good. I think it was pretty informative. That's a big reason why I do this too. Is I think that a lot of people don't know about rental properties, and I want to kind of share some information. For me, it's a networking thing,
Yeah.
but I think for everybody that's like wanting to watch them, like I never knew I could buy a rental property. I didn't know nothing about it, and so I kind of want to share some information on it.
Yeah.
Can I get you guys to do one thing before you guys go?
What's that?
I'm having everybody sign this that comes out on my podcast.
All right.
So just sign your name on it somewhere.
Yeah, for me, I did a podcast with a guy a couple months ago, and he was a realtor and did all about farm sales, buying your first farm and stuff like that. And I did it with him, just kind of help him out, and I liked his channel. And I couldn't believe the amount of people that people that knew me, like my dad, like close friends, like cousins, like they took you serious, like they didn't realize like I was doing a lot of real estate stuff. And I had 2 or 3 people like, hey, I got a bunch of money, you need investors. So I just do it more just now for like street cred almost anything, because I know I'm gonna need like investors in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main reason I do it now.
Yeah.
Because it isn't
Yeah.
about to me that much like it's just more about street cred really.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a networking hole. You never know what you're going to find out of it. And honestly, I've never had a podcast that turned out bad. Like you asked me, like, do you have a list of questions or anything like that? I'm like, nah. We're just gonna wing it. We're just gonna talk because I got plenty of stuff. I got plenty of questions, and honestly, I could probably hang out for another couple hours
Yeah.
and chat if we really wanted to.
We can talk all night.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just a whole networking thing and working with people, and you
No,
never
you're
know where
good.
it could go.
Yeah, I like what you're doing. You got it going on.
Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. See you.